Club, entering the second hour of the show. Hope you're enjoying it. So, we are all familiar with what happened to LeBron last night. Obviously, he fell into the cameraman, perhaps a little help or assisted by one Andrew Bogut, but we're talking about the cameraman being on the court during that first half. Several athletes tweeted about the cameraman being so close to the action, one of which is the bad man known as Aaron Rodgers. He says the camera guy couldn't move his camera. The on-field and on-court cameras are unnecessary, in my opinion. Get off the court. He continued, the under-the-basket camera has always been dangerous. The camera following players into the huddle is just unnecessary, in my opinion. Jared Jack, also a friend of the show, tweeted when it happened, when he saw LeBron get hit with the camera, he said, get those damn cameras all out of the way. So, Stephen A. Smith, do you think that they have a point about cameras being on the court?
No. And the reason why they don't have a point is because you're a player. There are player associations that represent the interests of the players. Do something about it and stop whining. The fact of the matter is the cameras wouldn't be there if the league didn't have it permissible for them to be there. They are, the games that we watch, the things that we see, it's because the cameramen are there, videoing it for us all, okay? And by the way, those camera folks, particularly the TV ones, and I'm not saying that particular one was, I'm not so sure. I do believe whether it's the NFL, how many billions did they sign for with the television networks? What about the billions the NBA is getting? What about the billions Major League Baseball is getting? Okay? So I don't hear anybody complaining about the money. You can't have it all. Sometimes you pay and you forfeit some conveniences so you can get the money. I don't hear the players complaining about the in excess of an average of $5 million, in terms of the average player salary in the league. I don't hear them complaining, certainly when they want to look into the camera to send a message. I don't hear about all of that stuff. Whether it's some tat on their body, whether it's some message they want to sit there and splatter for the world to see or whatever the case may be, they find ways to use these devices to their advantage. I'm not literally saying that they don't have a point. I'm saying your point is irrelevant because you have the power to do something about it, but you passed on it because you had other things that you wanted that you're benefiting from. This is the price of it. Period. Stop whining, stop moaning. I'm quite sure if the cameras didn't catch, and you know how I love the bad man Aaron Rodgers, but if the cameras didn't catch him doing discount double check, he wouldn't have had the damn commercial. Okay? So don't sit there and utilize the camera for your purposes, but then whine about it the second something goes wrong. The real world doesn't work that way. You give, you take. That's big boy rules. Grow up and accept it.
So you are telling, thank you, you are telling your man Aaron Rodgers to shut up on Twitter, right?
Well, I'm not going to be disrespectful by using the word shut up, but that's the thought.
That's the thought.
Yes.
I am with you on this. I don't even care if these players, both in the NFL and the NBA, try to go through their players' associations to change this rule, move camera people back. I am completely with you. The reason these games are so great and so lucrative is that we feel like, this is why you and I argue about this, I would much rather watch the game on TV than watch it live because I can see so much more on TV.
I agree with you.
Okay.
I just believe in being at the game because of who I talk to when I'm there.
I got it.
Not because of why.
Well, as you say, sometimes you go back in the media room and watch it on TV because it's really the only way to watch a game. In fact, I don't, this is just me, I don't get people who go, especially to an NFL game in a 100,000 seat type stadium, and it's inclement weather, and it's hard to park, and you have to walk 6 miles from your car. And what are you doing? And then you're sitting up in the 99th row, and you can barely see, and you got to watch the game in binoculars. Yeah. Just sit on your couch and take it all in.
Well, every now and again, they want the experience.
Well, Kerry, let me tell you something right now.
Yeah.
I'll give your man Jerry Jones credit because the best place in America to watch a football game is at Jerry World, the $1 billion playpen, because of that big jumbotron. I'm not talking about because of that big life-size TV.
Yeah. You get the best of both worlds.
That's right.
The experience plus the television.
Sure. More arenas should do that.
I get all that. I need to make the point one more time to defend this cameraman. There is a restricted area. It's about 6 feet off the line, the out-of-bounds line. 6 feet is a pretty good distance. And there's a red line restraining, and he was behind it. He was legally within his limits of where he was sitting. So he wasn't over the line and in harm's way.
And not only that, if you have an issue, he was not over the line. He was not in violation of anything. It was clearly accidental, especially on his part. And by the way, if you have something that you want to do about it, complain about it with the leagues, because they're the ones that make those decisions. They're the ones that define those restrictions and those stipulations, and that is that. But also, don't be hypocritical, because you got folks, this is just another way of pointing the finger, whether it's the media, literally the written word, the verbal, audio, visual, or in this case the cameraman. They're always finding a way to complain about the very thing they have mastered exploiting. Shut the hell up and watch the game. And appreciate the fact that you home watching the game, which is why you saw what you saw and why the ratings have been big time.
You got it. Now, other point of order. We all remember the horrific and I thought tragic Paul George injury. That was a stanchion at an Olympic-style game that was in Las Vegas in an arena in which the NBA does not play.
That's right.
The stanchion was way too close to the out-of-bounds line, and we know what happened and what derailed his career for a while and their season last year.
Yes.
Okay, that was a whole different idea because that stanchion needed to be moved back. That's not an issue in the NBA.
Good point, Skip.
All right, let's leave it there, guys. When we come back, we're holding court. You guys get to talk to Skip and Stephen A. Who will be the lucky one? Kerry's Court, back in a moment. First take on the road, folks, in Cleveland.